Interior CS Kithure Kindiki says self-regulation will be an integral part of the regulatory framework and reforms in management of religious organizations. Azimio launches digital signature collection platform aimed at opposing the Finance Act 2023 and a push for a reasonable cost of living. President William Ruto warns Azimio protesters against destruction of properties ahead of tomorrow's protest. And Machakos health workers issue 6-day strike ultimatum over poor working conditions and promotions.
Welcome to the broadcast. Simon Sobembo is our sign language interpreter tonight. My name is Odida, and we're live on our social media platforms at KTV_Kenya. That is on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We begin. Now, the government will relentlessly push for legal reforms to tame rogue preachers who mislead and indoctrinate their followers through religious extremism. In his remarks before the Senate Ad hoc Committee this afternoon, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki underlined that the government is in the forefront to strengthen law enforcement in order to tame the proliferation of unaccountable religious activities that include indoctrination of innocent people.
Interior Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki today appeared before the Senate Ad hoc Committee chaired by Tana River Senator Danson Mungatana to answer questions pertaining to Shakahola deaths and the progress of exhumation operations. Kindiki told the senators that the government will not relent in the push for legal reforms to tame rogue preachers who misuse the scriptures to mislead their followers in a move to avert a repeat of events witnessed in Shakahola.
Security of the religious freedom is a foundational doctrine of the existence of our country, and it doesn't matter what, that foundational doctrine must never be eroded, defiled, or curtailed.
The Senate heard that Pastor Mackenzie went to extreme lengths to conceal the graves of his followers who starved to death. On why it is taking long for security agencies to identify graves, Kindiki explained that other graves were inside houses. Professor Kindiki emphasized that law enforcement will be strengthened to tame proliferation of unaccountable religious activities, including indoctrination of innocent people. He insisted that the government must win the case against ill-fated preacher Pastor Mackenzie.
Including the democratic rights which we enjoy as a country, the freedom of worship, the entire Bill of Rights, all those fundamental principles of our country's establishment are curtailed first by Atomic Secretary.
Kindiki further noted that the government has identified 40 new unopened graves in Shakahola. A total of 350 bodies have been recovered since exhumation exercise began. Joseph Oyomo, KUTV.
Azimio Umoja demonstrations are slated to resume tomorrow as planned and are set to be joined by taxi operators when Sunday announced to don their tools and take to the streets beginning Wednesday tomorrow. The operators protest the recent rise in the cost of fuel and have urged their companions in the Matatu and border sectors to join them in the protests.
Wednesday tomorrow is set to see demonstrations in full gear as different sectors and regions in the country plan to take to the streets. The Azimio Umoja anti-government protests will resume tomorrow after the inaugural Sabasaba Day was hailed by the party as a success in participation of different parts of the country.
Sasa tumesema siku ya Jumatano Jumatano. Mko tayari?
Leaders in the coast region have pledged to spearhead tomorrow's demonstrations at the coast in support of the national protests. Led by Senate Minority Leader Stewart Mazayo, the leaders have condemned the excessive use of police force on demonstrators, holding that Kenyans have a right to protest peacefully.
Tutakuwa na mkutano wa amani katika ndani ya Kilifi. Tunaambia watu wote ndani ya Kilifi wakuja hapa Kilifi ili tufanye mkutano wetu wa azimio na tuwaeleze Wakenya wote ya kwamba sisi tuko pamoja nao katika kilio chao cha njaa ama baa la njaa ndani ya nchi.
The transport sector is also expected to paralyze movement across the country, following a planned strike by taxi operators. In a statement released Sunday earlier this week, the operators will down their tools on Wednesday due to the recent rise in cost of fuel and the new guidelines by NTSA.
Sisi tunakubaliana na maandamano na ile kwamba kutakuwa na mgomo wa magari kwa sababu kulingana na vile life iko tunaona maneno imekuwa tofauti sana kwa ground kulingana na hizo miaka zote. So atuone kama tuko sawa. Kwa sababu hata sisi tuko kwa uwanja inakuwa ngumu sana kwa approach abiria.
As Kenyans await tomorrow demonstrations with eager, the issue of brute force on demonstrators has taken a center stage. The Saba march last week saw the death of 5 people by the bullet, with Azimio La Umoja announcing a plan to move to court and prosecute individual officers accused of firing on demonstrators. Mmeweru, KUTV.
Now, as Azimio plans to go to the streets tomorrow, the National Police Service, on the other hand, has released a statement that is barring the coalition from holding the protest tomorrow. NPS says that the planners of the demos had not issued a notification of the demos tomorrow. And in this line, the National Police Service say that they have no other option but to take necessary measures that include dispersing all illegal demonstrations. However, it has cited that it remains committed to the fidelity of the Constitution of Kenya and the rule of law and respect for human rights. Moving on, Azimio La Umoja One Kenya Coalition has today launched a digital platform for collecting signatures to demonstrate the lack of faith in President William Ruto regime. The coalition leader Raila Odinga led the launch, which was held at Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka Command Center in Karen, Nairobi. Odinga has also revealed that 1.2 million Kenyans have already appended their signatures since the start of the drive.
Members of the media. The Azimio La Umoja One Kenya Coalition has launched a public website for collecting signatures to prove lack of faith in President William Ruto. The coalition leader Raila Odinga, who is leading the exercise, says that Kenyans can now submit their signatures online or manually.
The digital platform we have unveiled today will therefore run alongside manual or physical signature collection. And we urge Kenyans to feel free to choose between digital and manual platforms, whichever they are comfortable with. We are aware that Kenya Kwanza has questioned where we will take the signatures and the legality of the exercise. We don't expect them to understand.
Raila has also revealed that 1.2 million Kenyans have already appended their signatures and now calls upon more supporters to hit the call in order to hit the 15 million signatures target.
We take this early opportunity to thank the 1.2 million people who have signed so far. We appeal to more people to come out and append their signatures to this historic undertaking. Note that 1.2 million people have signed this far.
According to Raila, the digital platform of signature collection is aimed at forcing the government to repeal the Finance Act 2023 to lower the cost of living. The action is also meant to address other weighty issues, including the reconstitution of IEBC, audit of 2022 presidential elections, and the compromising of opposition legislators by the government.
The digital platform we have unveiled today is complementary to all other efforts and platforms, including civil disobedience, tax boycotts, and defiance that are meant to compel the regime to repeal the Finance Act 2023 and take deliberate steps to lower the cost of living.
Raila has also lashed out at the legislature and the executive for what he terms as ganging up against other people. In return, Odinga has urged Kenyans to team up against the two arms of government.
Both the legislature and the executive have ganged up against the people, and the people have been left on their own. In return, the people have decided, rightly, to gang up against the executive and the legislature. The people have decided to invoke Article 1 of the Constitution.
The Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition has announced that the public engagements will not be confined within Nairobi, but will also be held across the country. Joseph Kess, KUTV.
President William Ruto has warned that the opposition against organizing violent protests. Speaking today in Ruai, Nairobi, the president vowed not to allow Kenyans to lose lives and destruction of public property in order to satisfy some political ambitions. President Ruto has also differed with the judiciary for grinding the Finance Act 2023 to a halt, as he demanded for its implementation to be allowed.
Referring to the demonstrations held last Friday, President Ruto took a sweep at the opposition, vowing that he will not allow Kenyans to lose lives in demos. In a speech that appeared to target at opposition leader Raila Odinga, Ruto said that Kenyans need a political break.
Mimi nataka niwaambie hao watu wa maandamano, please give the Kenyan people and the Kenyan youth a break. The plan we have of 1 million jobs for the young people of our country, in our housing program, in our digital program, in our agro-processing, value addition and manufacturing program, you cannot sabotage.
The president insisted that the solution to hunger and the rising economy is to invest in agriculture, a sector he wanted handsomely in the Finance Act 2023.
Sisi tulikubaliana iko shida ya chakula na unga kwa hii dunia. Si ni kweli? Na niliwaambia dawa ya hii njaa, dawa ya unga, bei ya unga, sio kuweka sufuria kwa kichwa tunatembea barabarani hadi sufuria. Dawa yake ni kusaidia mkulima azalishe chakula.
Ruto also promised to build 180 markets in the country and create more online jobs. He added that he will have 55,000 teachers before the end of this year and 110 teachers others next year. Also in the education bucket list is a school feeding program.
Watoto wengi, mimi nimetembea sehemu nyingi ya Kenya. Watoto wengi wanakosekana shuleni kwa sababu nyumbani hakuna chakula. Mahali tumepeleka chakula shuleni, watoto wameongezeka 150-200%. Kumaanisha kuna watoto wengi hawasomi, shida yao ni chakula. Na ndio tumesema kuanzia mwaka huu tutawalisha watoto milioni 4.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua asked President Ruto to hold tight and steer clear of opposition criticism as he took the verbal attacks to those in the accusation of sponsoring Odinga, further driving his claims of a conspiracy between Azimio and unnamed bankrollers.
Tukataka tuwaambie, kama mlijaribu kumzuia rais, mkiwa na mamlaka, mkiwa na pesa, mkiwa na polisi, mkiwa na machifu, Mungu akakataa. Saa hii mko msituni, mtamsumbua huyu rais na jalali. Kwa hivyo rais, we want to encourage you to stay focused
to serve the people of Kenya.
The president was in Ruai to issue title deeds to Embakasi ranching company shareholders. The president added that it is the government's responsibility to ensure every citizen has his land assessed and given title deeds to prevent land fraud. Jacob Okello, KUTV.
Iran President Ibrahim Raisi's state visit to Kenya has been pushed to tomorrow, Wednesday, following the cancellation of his trip that was to take place today owing to unfinished businesses. And this is according to a statement by Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua. This comes hours after State House spokesperson Hussein Mohammed announced the cancellation of his trip to Kenya on Tuesday, July 11. Raisi had announced last week that he will be visiting Kenya, Zimbabwe and Uganda in his 3-day tour of Africa. Top of his visit agenda to Kenya is for bilateral talks aimed at reviewing and strengthening the relations between Kenya and Iran. Experts attending the International Association for Landscape Ecology at Kenyatta University have underscored the importance of the internet in analyzing climate changes and predicting natural disasters. These stakeholders have also pinpointed that advances in software technology have made data collection and observation fast and accurate. Today marked the second day of the 5-day conference. Take a look.
The 5-day conference of the Africa International Association for Landscape Ecology entered the second day today. Participants from different fields of specialization shared their ideas with regard to this year's theme, which is transboundary resource management, climate change, and environmental resilience.
Dr. Emmanuel really also emphasized the importance of partnership and capacity building, particularly amongst the young people. And Dr. Tonan also kind of advised our younger scientists to get into the interdisciplinary areas, data analytics, and the use of remote sensing, which cuts across the board. And he kind of is encouraging this younger generation that you won't be jobless if you get into these interdisciplinary areas and train yourself how to use these tools and developing algorithms.
The keynote speeches centered on the role of technology in improving research methods and observation of different natural occurrences. According to Dr. Emmanuel Nkunzinza, Director General Regional Center for Mapping of Resources for Development, advances in space technology have positively impacted the world.
That our capabilities and ability to handle and process this data has grown in leaps and bounds over the past decade. This is a result of advances in computer processing power as well as data storage facilities. Software advances and programming abilities, including machine learning and artificial intelligence, have also enormously made it possible to analyze very complex situations and come up with models, define, combining a myriad of data sets.
Dr. Emmanuel also highlighted the fact that software development has made it possible to analyze climate changes and predicting disasters by making data collection much faster and accurate. He went on to praise the youth for leading from the front in the discovery of new technological ideas to improve landscape ecology.
Advances in communication technology through high-speed internet is one extra item in our toolbox as we seek to aid decision-making in the management of transboundary resources. Various forms of modalities and tools are now available for the transfer of large amounts of data from one part of the world to another or from one gadget to another. And this was a major challenge not so long ago.
According to Dr. Henry Tonang of the International Center of Insect Physiology and Ecology, there is need to dig deep on the impact of climate change on insects, adding that research on landscape ecology should be translated to active policy.
The presence of certain insect species in the location contribute to the presence of certain plants, also contribute to the presence of certain animals. It means if you are able to characterize and establish a very good link between the insect and some of these fold, you will be able to have a very good biodiversity indicator.
The event will continue for the rest of the week, with participants engaging in symposiums to share ideas on how to deal with climate change, with collaborations between researchers being an important undertaking. Edward Nyamo, KUTV.
All right, it is 20 minutes past the top of the hour. We are taking our very first short break at this point. Of course, we're coming back with so much more and an interview, so stay with us.
Kenyatta University will hold its 53rd graduation ceremony on Friday, 21st July 2023 at the main campus along Thika Superhighway. KUTV will provide live coverage of the graduation ceremony from 8 a.m. The graduation ceremony will also be streamed live on KUTV, KU website, Lola app, and all KU social media platforms. For more information, please contact the Office of the Registrar Academic on 020-870-3092 or 0786-335-111 or visit the KU website on www.ku.ac.ke. Kenyatta University, transforming higher education, enhancing lives.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
The folks are going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Vipopa si vuguvugu. Vipopa ni idea.
Sazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vilevile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni dunia ni leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
This is your first time?
Yeah, I'm kind of scared, but I can do this. Mess with me. Yeah, let's do this, man.
Exciting adventures across the African continent. See breathtaking wildlife, stunning landscapes, and out of this world technology. Meet incredible science and learn fantastic facts. Explore, discover, be amazed. Part of the next generation of African change makers. Be a part of Engine, Africa's #1 science discovery program. Yay! We're learning every day.
hapo kama tia. Nyama kwenye nipedia.
Da, maisha ni haya mali. Da, sielewi yani hata neno moja. Yani tunasikia mabuko likolo. Ayo ukiniangalia tu mwamba huyu anafiti sehemu fulani. Mimi niwe inakaa. Without your love, I can't move on. Yo, that's our boy Rhino the Don. Keep watching and listening to KUTV.
Welcome to Engine Season 2! The place to find out about the world we live in and the creatures that we share our planet with. Join us on the most exciting adventures across the African continent. See breathtaking wildlife, stunning landscapes, and out of this world technology. Meet incredible science and learn fantastic facts. Explore, discover, be amazed. Part of the next generation of African change makers. Be a part of Engine, Africa's #1 science discovery program. Yay!
We're learning every day. And you need the way.
Alright, welcome back to the broadcast, and of course you're watching KUTV Primetime News. Like I had hinted earlier, today is World Population Day, and so people across the globe observe July 11 as World Population Day. This is a day designated by the United Nations to focus attention on the urgency and importance of population issues. This includes their relations to the environment and human development. And this year's theme for World Population Day is unleashing the power of gender equality, while at the same time uplifting the voices of women and girls to unlock our world's infinite possibilities. Tonight in studio, I am joined by amazing human beings, so to say. And this is James Kilu and Sharon Sitati from the Center for Study of Adolescence. Karibuni sana to KUTV. I bet we will just get right into it, right?
Sure.
So I was doing a little bit of research on what the Center of Study for what Adolescence is, for what you guys do, and I discovered you are committed to the promotion of adolescents' health and related issues in Kenya. So I think that goes hand in hand with our theme for this year in World Population Day. And I just want to know, to start us off, what are the challenges of adolescents people, specifically now in Kenya, in terms of healthcare? To start us off, what are the major challenges that we are facing? And let's start with James.
Okay, first thank you for having us. So the challenges which face the adolescent group in relation to healthcare, one is lack of information, accurate information about different healthcare issues. Those are issues about menstruation, puberty, and growing up. And also we have a big challenge of lack of access of services. Services like period products, which keep our girls out of school. That's another big challenge. And also we have the triple threat. We have teenage pregnancies, which is very high in Kenya, and unfortunately very high. We have issues of violence in school and such issues. But I think those are some of the issues which face adolescents in our country.
Sharon, I presume these are from your findings now as the Center for the Study of Adolescents. When he says violence in schools, what are you doing maybe as the Center, as CSA, to ensure that our children, our adolescents are safe in school?
Okay, thank you very much. And
like one of the things that we do in CSA is we do we have community activities when we go to the out of school adolescent and young girls, and now we give them information on, let's say, how to report abuse, how to maybe spot and prevent it, so that we we come in with the interventions on how to prevent violence. And by us doing that out of school, when they go back to school, we realize they're also going to have information on also how to prevent violence, and they will know that maybe to whom they're supposed to report when violence occurs to them. They know whom is trusted for them to be able to share maybe such cases of violence.
Right now, the conversation today has revolved around sexual health, sexual and reproductive health, as well as the call for gender equality. Now, I would want to know now, as an organization, what do you suggest should be done to uphold the sexual and reproductive health and rights of adolescents, young girls, and women?
Okay, thank you very much. And as first as I can, let me start by saying, today is World Population Day.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about population, where does population derive from? From conception. Then when you're talking about conception, it comes back to the issue of family planning. Because realize with family planning, or you cannot talk about family planning without population. You cannot talk about population without family planning. So then you realize there is an issue to do with unaffordable and inaccessibility of a wide range of family planning methods that actually meet the needs of young girls and women. And we need to recognize that young women are different, and different, let's say, contraception method works different with them. Some of them do not suit, if whatever suits me does not mean that it's going to suit another person. So you realize there also another issue of women not being able to be in a position to make informed decision and autonomously about their health. Because you realize maybe that those women that, and young girls and adolescents also, that do not have explicit, correct, and timely information to make informed choices. So it isn't when you're not giving enough information that is correct about contraceptive, someone is going to go out there, and the information that they're going to get is what they're going to maybe use. Maybe based on that, you'll realize some of them are going actually to experience the teenage pregnancy, and as a country, currently, we are still being ranked third globally in teenage pregnancies, and you come back to realize this is because of there is inaccessibility of contraceptive methods, and by that it also stems from limited information and wide range of this contraceptive method that at least these girls can access, and all this is coming from women and young girls not being able to be in a position to make informed decision autonomously about their body, because someone else somewhere is sitting and making decision about my own body. Then if I'm not in the position to actually make informed choices about my body, what does that person know about my body? So it is the issue of not having to be able to access actually autonomous, affordable, and quality healthcare is what's putting a lot of girls in let's say health issues. Yeah.
Right, now when you are saying that most women and adolescents are not able now to make these informed decisions about their body, where do you think is the gap stems from, and what can be done to really ensure that these adolescents, our young girls, are empowered and maybe given more education on how to really just build themselves up in person? James.
Okay, thank you. So the largest gap is information. They don't have the information to make those decisions.
Yes.
For example, the Kenya Health Demographic Survey report was released a few days ago. And one of the indicators which they were looking at is the understanding of HIV prevention. You can find that for people who have not, whose education level ended at standard 8, just primary education, their understanding of HIV prevention is very low, even less than 50% in some areas. When you go to Form 4, even it does not even get to 80%. So we are saying we have Form 4 graduates who does not know how to prevent HIV in essence. So HIV, I think, is one of the things which we can say most Kenyans know about. So if the most obvious thing is not obvious to many who have gone through the education system, what do you think about the other issues which are often neglected? The issues of contraception, consent. So I think we need to focus more on our education system to ensure that we have graduates who understand well about their health if we are to improve the outcomes of our society. The second thing, where they don't make informed decisions, they are not given the chance. They lack the autonomy. You know, as human beings, we own ourselves. So we don't need to be controlled by other people, and that's where the issue of gender equality comes in, and the issue of gender equity. For example, when you look at issues about family planning, you find that the uptake is very low in certain areas. I was looking at it, is less than 10% in Madeira and the former northern province. The uptake is less than 10%. So maybe it can be argued because of the cultural and societal setting in that area, maybe the women don't have so much leeway in the decisions which they make. So in essence, they don't own themselves. So that's the second issue that we need to look at.
So as it stands as a country, I understand we're still lacking behind when it comes to gender parity. The other gender feels like the other gender is given more priority than the rest. So what is the way forward? What can be done to really just combat such embedded gender disparity?
So I don't think one gender is being given more than the other should be like that. We are saying that we should have an equal chance, all of us, for access of opportunities in exercise of our rights. We just need to have equal chance. The issues of gender and sex should not be a consideration when we get the opportunity to exercise our rights. So what should we do about that? One thing, this thing about gender equality has for long been made about, not about gender, but to be a women issue. So we need to change certain settings in our society.
When you say women issue, what do you mean? Is it that women, we really fight towards wanting to be given equal rights as compared to men, or what do you mean?
You are fighting to be given equal rights. I would not put it that way. We are not given rights. They belong to us, to all of us. They are your rights, they are our rights. Your rights are human rights, they are not just women's rights. So what I'm saying in essence is that men should get into the fight to ensure that their sisters get fair play. Yeah.
Wonderful. What's your take on that, Sharon?
Okay, maybe just to build on what James had said. You had asked about like the issues of gender and where it's all stemming from. It's stemming from let's say patriarchy, because like maybe as a lady, maybe who's in a relationship, or maybe as a woman who is married, I do not have the autonomy to maybe make decision about family planning, because I have to consult my husband, who has to be the final person to either say like take it or not. And some of them, like when they take it, like you realize like the men will become abusive, because they're thinking that maybe women that have access to, or that are trying to access family planning, are actually promiscuous. So it comes back to the decision of, as a woman, I won't have to make decision about my body unless my husband or my boyfriend says so. And this is my body. Like, if I take, let's say, contraception, it's affecting me more. But why do I have to like ask a man about, now what do you think we should do about this? And because if I do that, because we've had women that actually have been abused because the husband realized that they were using contraception. And then it comes back to when we're talking about population, Whereas like when someone let's say like cannot access the quality and affordable and let's say like suitable contraceptive method, they're going either to have like unplanned pregnancy or let's say unintended pregnancy. Either they're going to resort to unsafe abortion, which is also another issue that's causing like maternal deaths, or they're going to resort to let's say unplanned parenthood. And when we talk about unplanned parenthood, this means at one point or the other, it's going to maybe put me at a halt of something, either education-wise or work-wise. Therefore, that means while a man is continuing maybe to do the work and everything, as a woman, it's like kind of somewhere along the line, it's like my life has been paused a bit. So it is like even most of these women won't have like the equal chances even to like in let's say it to competitively perform at the work because of like such issues. And that's why we realize that most of the women that maybe the moment they have like a teenage like pregnancy, going back to school becomes an issue because they have now to take care of the kid. And then this stems from when you have unplanned parenthood, either or let's say like when you just not like you have not planned your parenthood like generally, you're going to have your priorities different, because that means you're going to be in a place where it's like in a run of trying to cater for this family, which means it will reach a point where now you're going to leave another kid to take care of another kid so that you can go and hustle. And that means you are leaving these kids in hands where you are not there to protect them. They are so vulnerable to abuses. Sometimes, like, there's actually a research that shows, like, unplanned parenthood and increased crime rates, because the moment you're going to, as a parent, you've not planned your parenthood. So, which means, like, you have, like, a lot of children that you cannot really take care of. So, which means these children are going to start taking care of themselves. Do they really have that capability to take care of themselves? No. Where are they going to start now? What are they going to do now so that they can take care of themselves? Maybe turn into crime rates. And it's also when they turn into crimes, there's also the issue of trauma. So it's also like unplanned parenthood is going to cause like increase like crime rates. It's going to cause mental health to both you because you feel so guilty that you cannot provide for these kids. Also, you've put the kids in a place where they have to mature like faster than they were supposed to, so you haven't given them the ability to enjoy their childhood, so you're also causing them another trauma. And then when there's also like a lot of people, then that means as a parent you're not able actually, if you're not financially stable, you're not able to actually at least give them like a helping hand economically. Then that means it's like there is the cycle of poverty, because I am not able to provide for them, and then I'm letting them in the world like that. They have no returns, they have nothing. So that means even for them, if they're not maybe find someone that can hold them, or maybe be in a better position to maybe provide for themselves, we're going to have the same cycle of poverty.
Right. Yeah. So I want us to take a look at the 2023 State of World Population Report. I don't know if you can get the statistics on the screen. When we wait for it, 24, according to the United Nations, they have it, 24% of partnered women and girls are unable to say no to sex, and 11% are unable to make decisions specifically about contraception. This is according to data from 68 reporting countries. This is according to United Nations. What really should be done? Now that 24% of partnered women and girls are unable to say no to sexual intercourse. Let's start here.
Thank you. That's really worrying. So I think I see two issues there. The issue of consent. I think we should educate our people properly on the issue of consent. What consent means and when consent should be applied. So for girls not being able to say not to sex, essentially it means that they are more vulnerable to rape and the consequences of it. So we need to ensure first the perpetrators they know that the consent is very important, and also they understand that there are consequences of sex without the consent. The other issue, we see women who are not in control of their bodies here because of the settlement which we have in our country. People who are not able to make decisions about themselves. So I think we need to improve the structure of autonomy, and this is brought about systematically by educating people about their rights. Yes.
So I want us to wind up. My director is telling me that you're working on borrowed time, but I want to hear from you, Sitati, and then we'll come to James. UN Secretary General, that is Antonio Guterres, today, while marking the World Population Day, he said leaders are failing in efforts to ensure a peaceful and prosperous world for all. Do you agree? And if yes, what really should be done by our leaders?
Yes, I do agree, because from that statement there is an issue of inequality, and by that, if they're failing to provide an equal world to all, then that means someone else is being stepped upon, and that means also the issues of right. Someone's right is not in their hands, just as James said, women are not being in a position to make autonomous choices about their bodies. So what can be done is, as leaders, we need to realize that we are not going to realize the sustainable goals, or we're not going to have sustainable development if we do not talk about women's rights. And if we're talking about women's rights, then we have to bring in the issue of actually developing and implementing fully the policies that actually work towards ensuring that women have access to quality, affordable, and autonomous healthcare. Yeah, so to me it comes back to the issues, because it's the leaders that actually develop these policies. So if there are policies in check that actually support everyone to enjoy their rights without being stumbled upon and make informed choices about their bodies, then I think it's going to be in a place where at least we're going to be at least, if not maybe 3/4, at least half away in maybe attaining maybe sustainable goals.
Right. James, do you think our leaders are doing what they should be doing? When it comes to now gender equality, now that we are in the theme of World Population Day, are Kenyan leaders doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Unfortunately, not. Expectedly about our leadership, that is expected. I think these are the custodians, the people who have been promoting inequalities in our society. For example, there was a bill some times back which was about to bring about the truth that gender balance in the parliament. It's the leaders who brought it down, ensuring that we don't have more women in leadership, in power, to make that the streams of power more balanced. It's the leaders who ensure that policies which are put in place are not favorable to our society. For example, there's a bill in the Senate, I think it's been introduced, about inheritance for deceased, for widows and widowers, which are told is not promoting equality in our society. So leaders in our society, they are not doing pretty good job in ensuring equality. And we know there cannot be peace when there is no equality.
All right, but the director said we need to wind up, or they come and take us out of our seats right here in studio. So I want us to stop at that. But I understand that we will be continuing this conversation on just really gender equality, because it's a conversation that never stops. So because you have something to say, maybe that is your camera? Nothing? All right, so we're taking a very short break. At this point, we're coming back with so much more. Stay right here.
Kenyatta University will hold its 53rd graduation ceremony on Friday, 21st July 2023 at the main campus along Thika Superhighway. KUTV will provide live coverage of the graduation ceremony from 8 a.m. The graduation ceremony will also be streamed live on KUTV, KU website, Lola app, and all KU social media platforms. For more information, please contact the Office of the Registrar Academic on 020-870-3092 or 0786-335-111 or visit the KU website on www.ku.ac.ke. Kenyatta University, transforming higher education, enhancing lives.
Welcome back. Let's continue with our coverage. Jubilee leaders who lost the battle over the party's control has blamed Kenya Kwanza government for the court's decision. The faction allied to former President Uhuru Kenyatta claims that the government used the courts to achieve their impunity. The political party's district tribunal threw out an appeal against the ouster of David Murathe, Jeremiah Kioni and Kagwe Gishohi as the party's Secretary General, Chairman and National Treasurer respectively. At the same time, party leaders upholding Yala Member of Parliament Karine Kege as Jubilee Party Secretary General.
Also, Jubilee Party members have hotly contended against the tribunal decision, which ratified the installment of Yala MP Karine Kege as the party's Secretary General.
This madness by Ruto is being obsessed of destroying Jubilee and by extension the party that may have more people from out Kenya started way back in 2020, and what our leader has said about the business tribunal being cautious in what they do is spot on, and that will be delivered today.
Former President Uhuru Kenyatta's Jubilee faction lost the court battle to Ruto allies on the control of Jubilee Party after the political party's dispute tribunal threw out an appeal against the ouster of David Murathe, Jeremiah Kioni and Kagwe Gishohi as the party's Secretary General, Chairman and National Treasurer respectively. The tribunal upheld the decision previously issued by the Register of Political Parties, which ratified Jubilee National Executive Committee resolution to suspend the three from the party. Headed by Azimio leader Raila Odinga, the faction claimed that President Ruto used the court to achieve impunity and climb to its goals. The tribunal further struck out a suit filed against the Register of Political Parties and Elitu for effecting leadership changes in letter dated May 19, 2023.
A coup which has been orchestrated by Kenya Kwanza in Jubilee, attempting to take over the party. And they're using political parties tribunal to justify what is a criminal act. As all of you know, since the introduction of multi-party politics in our country, 1992, any member of parliament who defects from his political party that's sponsored in parliament must resign or lose his seat and face a by-election.
Kioni and Murathe had filed an appeal on May 2023 after Ms. Irete ruled out that the ousted members had been duly removed from the party during Jubilee National Executive Council meeting by Kega-led Splinter Group on April this year. Kioni and his colleagues wanted the tribunal to declare that Ms. Irete violated their right to fair administrative action. In a virtual ruling rendered on Monday, the tribunal dismissed the appeal in its entirety and ordered the appellants to bear the cost of the suit for the respondents and interested parties. Joseph Oyomo, KUTV.
Now, various stakeholders have come together to discuss the challenges faced by migrants and refugees in the host country. The International Organization for Refugees and the Mojo Refugee Group, in collaboration with the Nairobi County Leadership and French Embassy, highlighted the importance of involving migrants in the process of designing refugee policies during a refugee livelihood strengthening symposium held at Nairobi University.
The International Organization for Refugees, IOM, and the Moja Refugee Group has collaborated with the Nairobi County Leadership and the French Embassy to address the challenges faced by migrants and refugees in Kenya, including hardships, conflicts, among others.
A refugee is also a person who can accept or even compete with others without any restriction based on their status or who they are.
Jonas Daisenga, Executive Director and Co-founder, IOM, said that if the government is working to improve the lives of refugees without their presence and contributions, then it has no real impact, stressing the importance of involving grassroots organizations.
The refugees can be able, be it through their laws or any other angle that's there. They can be also participated in that kind of ideation, the initial one. So that whenever they start or pick up, now everything is really inclusive and everyone feels they own it.
Nairobi County government assured the refugees and migrants its readiness to enhance their lives, urging them not to feel that the government has neglected them as the residents of the city, emphasizing the need for the government to be easily accessible to refugees and address their needs. The county has hinted at plans to establish grassroots centers in wards to ensure that the voices of refugees are heard.
The Refugee Act 2021 came in place. There is a lot that has been happening step by step in terms of even the county understanding its mandate, and it's a work that is happening between the national government, between the civil society and the county government to be able to understand how then they can relate, how they can deliver services.
Some of the refugees who attended the workshop expressed their concerns about language barrier, lack of work permit, identification documents, challenging business environment, among other issues.
The main challenge is really documentation, and when it comes to formal employment, the aspect of work permit, and the recognition or the understanding of the meaning or the power of the refugee.
Ili watu wafanikishe malengo ya kitu muhimu ni amani ama security. Na hivi majuzi tumesikia wanasiasa wachache wakitumia matamshi makali kuhusu wakimbizi.
The workshop brought together representatives and refugees from Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, Eritrea, Malawi, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Drought and conflicts in countries such as Sudan, Ethiopia, Somalia, DRC, Eritrea, and others have increased the number of refugees in Kenya, with many being hosted in the Dadaab camp and urban areas becoming crowded. An example is Nairobi. Patrick Godwar, KUTV.
Right now, in the world of sports, Ibrahim Rotich will remain in police custody for 61 days, pending a ruling on bond application after the court directed further review of bond terms. Rotich is the prime suspect into the murder of long-distance athlete Agnes Tirop, who was brutally murdered at her A10 home in Elgeyo Marakwet in 2021. In his ruling, Justice Robert Wananda directed the suspect to remain remanded and directed probation officer to prepare a fresh pre-bail report detailing the situation on ground. The case will be mentioned on October 9, 2023. And finally, Scotland is the latest team to jet in the country ahead of the World Rugby Under-20 trophy, set to kick off on 15th to 30th of July 2023 at Nyayo Stadium. The team landed last night with the rest of the teams expected in the country today as per the World Rugby Tournament regulations. Scotland will take on USA, Zimbabwe and Uruguay in Pool A, while the host nation Kenya will brush shoulders with Samoa in their opening game before taking on Spain and Hong Kong, China. The winners will earn promotion to the World Cup Rugby Under-20, scheduled for next year in South Africa. All right. right, it is exactly 10 p.m. We have come to the end of our bulletin tonight. Many thanks indeed for keeping us company. We meet again next week, inshallah. My name is Odida. I'm in the company of Eva Subiambo, who is a sign language interpreter tonight. Have yourself a good night. I think that's it up.